Hello and welcome. My name is Super Saiyan and this is your weekly news and pre-order video covering all of the new releases from Games Workshop and Forge World. Now there's an awful lot of news and pre-orders, new products and things for me to get through today, so I'll try and condense this video and make it as concise as possible for you all. So this is the channel. If you can support the channel through Patreon for as little as like $1 a month, it really helps the channel out and allows the channel to get all of the new releases and armies that wouldn't normally be covered. I'm currently creating a video every single day right now, and I have done since the start of December, and I've made a commitment that I will do so until the end of March. So if you want to show your support and appreciation for all of those daily videos, then you could become a Patreon. Alternatively, why not purchase all of your products from Element Games? You get 15 to 25% off. Just use the affiliate link in the description below this video. It's a no-brainer really. You use that link and you get your discount off. Element Games ship around the world, so you're getting your models and things a fair bit cheaper. If you just click on Adeptus Sororitas, for instance, instead of paying £50 for an Exorcist, which is ludicrous, you can just pay £40. And again, instead of paying £65 for the Triumph of St. Catherine, I got 50 there, you can get £13 off it. So you are saving a fair bit of money, and it also helps this channel out, so I can't recommend them enough. That's where I get most of my models from nowadays. Let's jump on in there to the community website then. If we go backwards in time 7 days to the 11th of January, there was a bit of a pre-order. You could pre-order all your Adeptus Sororitas. I think I covered this before. The Codex came out today in the shops along with the publication and the collector's edition. That sold out quite quickly, but that's to be understandable. They normally make a limited run of those. Also the cards and the dice. The amazing Battle Sister box set, which I've just literally unboxed, and it's got 3 sprues in, and it's all I could have hoped for. It's an incredible box set, and I hope you enjoy the video later on today. Also the Retributor box set was up for is released today, and the Triumph of St. Catherine. There's a fair few pre-orders that were announced the day after on the Sunday. Quite a handful really. You've got the Penitent Engines, or the Mortifiers and Anchorites there in their own box set. You've got the 10 arco-flagellants. You've got the Exorcist tank itself. You've got Hospitaller. You've got Judith Arusha, which they've called Judith in here, but in the Codex and everywhere else she's Judith. Maybe they've swapped her name recently. You've got the Ritual of the Damned, the next Psychic Awakening book, and a collector's edition version of it as well, and also a Dark Angels Primaris Captain of the 5th Company Master Lazarus. You can also build this model with a Power Fist instead of the Power Sword, and instead of the winged helmet you can have the bolt gun. A couple of people asked me if I was going to get him and unbox him and review him, and I said no. Well, good news, I have pre-ordered him, so he's going to come and we're going to have an unboxing and full look at this model. I didn't do it with the other chapter specific models because they didn't have helmeted versions, and it's a bit easier for me to get away with having Dark Angels models in my army. I think I've got the Dark Angels Interrogator Chaplain as well. But as you can tell from this channel, I've definitely built up a lot of captains and lieutenants for my Primaris force, which is steadily growing at an alarming rate actually. Then there was a number 15 Big Brothers episode, Psychic Awakening Beyond the Starstride Nexus, focusing on the Tau. Ritual of the Damned chapter focus for the Grey Knights. This shield for the Rimmer engine, I think it's a shield, it's got a couple of skulls on it. Looks a bit like Ogre Kingdoms in a way. Then there was a Ritual of the Damned faction focus for the Thousand Suns with the beautiful Magnus, the red model, which was model of the year, I think 2017. Then you've got Robin Lund List's Gargantuous Bone Host, Build Your Own Bounty Hunter, Black Library, Thousand Suns Archives, focus on the Ritual of the Damned chapter, Dark Angels, a Cataphrane Chronicle, How to Win Grand Clash, Regimental Standard, From the Mind of Mengel, Nurgle Chaos Warriors, that's a very interesting article, new prizes for Warhammer Organised Play, The Return of the Exorcist, a lovely article there with the designer going in depth to the tank, even so much as to explain how it's based on the Deimos or Demos pattern Rhino chassis, and how the suspension is slightly lowered to incorporate the massive weapon system on the back. There's a pre-order look at the Blood Angels and books. Blood Angels for the Horus Heresy got these reinforcements. They are £50 for 5 of them, so they're £10 each. That is about right, believe it or not, guys, for Forge World miniatures in terms of 5 infantry models, because they're all resin, there's no plastic, they're all very bespoke, lots of detail. The paint job, I'm not a fan, if I have to say. They're not as kind of ornate as previous Blood Angels models, and the paint jobs do sell the models at the end of the day. I do like the helmets, they look very Noise Marine-esque, and they'd be great for Emperor's Children Army. They'd be brilliant. I love the fact that they've got the jump packs as well as grenade launchers and these Volkite Serpentas. They really work well with the Volkite Serpenta equipped HQ choice. You've also got book 2 available in just normal, without the hardback. It's a softback version. These books are massive. They're hundreds of pages. Personally, I'd pay more. I'd pay double. I'd pay the £80 or £70 for it to be in hardback, because there's lots of pages. It's intricate, well lavished artwork, and it's one of these books that you want to be keeping open at a certain page, and just having it in softback is nice if you want the rules and things, but I much prefer the hardback versions, even though you are paying through the nose for them, because they're made in China, like all their books. Anyway, moving over to Mind Over Matter, the Warhammer 40,000's Top Psychers. This was nice and an interesting change. The community website is now doing articles like this. I praise this. This is what similar kind of Warhammer news websites do. This is similar to their articles, in that they pick the top best psychers or the top best tanks, and I want to see more of this. Actually, I think this is an excellent way forward. They talk about Mephiston, Eldrad Ulthran, obviously, Chaos Fate Weaver, Chief Librarian Tigurius, Inquisitor Gideon Ravener, not Eisenhorn, which is depicted there, but Ravener, if you've read the Ravener books. If you haven't, go check them out right now. The entire Great Knights chapter, of course, and Magnus the Red, and the God Emperor of Mankind. I think they pretty much covered most of the Psychers there, so good job, Games Workshop. Then there was a look at Warhammer Age of Sigmar Return of Teclis. Yes, we've got pointy elves. I'm really looking forward to these. I don't think I'll pick them up, but I'm extremely intrigued at these dark elves, are they, or high elves? But anyway, you're just going to have to correct me in the comments below. Then there was an Adeptus Sororitas Lore, the Penitent Hosts. This actually came out yesterday, this article, and it just describes a bit more about how they can come about and their use in the lore. And then there was 10 signals on the Land Raider, 43 targets, and there hasn't been an update today on this news on the community website. There will be an update tomorrow where you'll get the next wave of all the Sisters of Battle pre-orders. I can't wait. I think there's going to be at least another 2 weeks worth of releases. You've got the Dialogus to come. You've got the Canoness multi-part kit. You've got the Imagifier, you've got the Rhino, the Immolator, you've got the Battle Sanctum even, you've got the Seraphim / Zephyrim squad. You've got a fair number of units still to be released from Games Workshop, and I don't think they'll release all of them in 1 week. It's going to be 2 week minimum. So hopefully we'll find out tomorrow afternoon what we can pre-order next weekend. That's it for the news. Let's jump on over to Forge World and have a look at those Blood Angels units. If we click new, I'm over my rant over the Legion Aquitor Bombard. It's still £95 though. They haven't changed that. I'm still waiting for them to change that, because that's clearly a mistake. But here are the new Blood Angels for Horus Heresy models, the Angels tiers with Volkite Serpentas. £50 there. I like the look of the models, but not so much the paint job. I was expecting more gold and things on there. I don't know why there isn't as much gold, but there we go. The helmets are pretty awesome. I would have painted them in gold helmets actually, but there we go. The weapons look great. They're in a number of poses. Each one is different. As you can see, each one of the leg poses are different. They've got different little bits and bobs, like different grenades and different pieces. Obviously their heads, you're going to be able to move their heads in any position you like. Not a huge fan of like the lenses. I wish they'd coloured the lenses in and not just have them as statues, but there must be a reason for that. Anyway, they're £50 with all those Volkite Serpentas. If you want the rules for them, they're found in the Book 8 Malevolence, which I do have. If I was going to get them, of course I'd do a review for them for you all, but I don't have Blood Angels Army, and that's going to be a no. I won't be covering those. And then you've also got the Angels Tears with grenade launchers. Again, I love these units with the jump packs, just, you know, flying about, letting rip with those grenade launchers. They look awesome, lots of 3D detail with the grenades themselves. Again, with these helmets, I would have liked different poses though. They look very similar. Maybe have these on the flying bases. I'm sure people will try and put them on flying bases, but the legs look like they're bracing anyway. I would have liked a couple of them just holding the grenade launcher with one hand. I'm sure it's possible, or even looking the other way. So they're all in very, very similar poses, unfortunately. So they're a bit boring looking, in my opinion. More boring than the Serpentas. Anyway, they're £50 for the 5. Then you've got this Tears of Deflagration, which is £110. You've got 10 of the Angel's Tears, and this Legion Moritat, which I do have, which I've done a review. Just type that into YouTube, you'll find my unboxing review of him. He's an awesome looking model, and goes very, very well with these Serpentas, especially with that jump pack. And then you've got another Blood Angels special, Blood Angels Legion Crimson Fury. It's also worth noting that these sets do actually save you money from buying the models separately, which is fantastic. Because clearly, you know, 5 of them are £50, 10 of them would be £100. So for £10, you're getting the Moritat, so you are saving money. And the same story for the Crimson Fury set. You've got a Legion Praetor in Tartarus pattern Terminator armour. You've got the Crimson Paladins, which are a lovely, lovely set. And you've got the Legion Contemptor Incendious class Dreadnought, the Dreadnought with the power talons and the jump pack. You know, Contemptors are fast enough. Do they really need jump packs? Well, Blood Angels seem to think so. And then you've got the Legion new releases, which unfortunately doesn't save you any money. You know, you're going to spend £100, which is just one squad of the Angels Tears with grenade launchers and one squad with the Volkite Serpentas. So yeah, 3 new pre-orders from Forge World this week. So very good, Forge World. You're cracking them out. I'm sure there'll be more Dark Angels releases coming. But yeah, I forgot to mention the Heresy Book 2 in softback is £40 now. You've got Book 2 Massacre in softback. You've got the Angels Tears with Volkite Serpentas, and you've got the Angels Tears with grenade launchers as the pre-orders for this weekend. That's it from Forge World. A better week this week than it was last week, need I say more. Let's jump on over to Games Workshop. Straight away, you've got all of the pre-orders here for this weekend. If we go to the right, you've got Flaunt Your Zeal, which is Psychic Awakening Ritual of the Damned. I do like this cover art, one of my favourites. And then you've got the normal book as well. I do find it a bit odd that they've got the same artwork. It is the same artwork, but without the font. All they've done is just change the font. Yeah, which I would have expected a bit more, really, for like a collector's edition. Usually they have completely different artwork, but not for these Psychic Awakening books. Anyway, let's click New and Exclusive, and we click on Pre-orders, review all, and go high to low, and here they are. Well, here are some of the pre-orders from last weekend as well. So you've got this week's Adeptus Sororitas pre-orders, £165 if you were to get them, all of them together. They are Judith Arusha, the Penitent Engines, the Exorcist Tank, the Arco-Flagellants, and the Hospitaller. You've got the Triumph of St. Catherine there up to add to cart rather than pre-order. but she was pre-order last weekend. Let's have a look at the most expensive pre-order this weekend, which is actually cheaper than Triumph of St. Catherine, which is the Exorcist. Now this thing is the same price as a Land Raider. I don't know whether that's worth it in terms of the size of the Land Raider and how good a Land Raider is on the battlefield. Remember, Land Raiders used to be, when they first came out at least, £35. Then they've jumped up to £45 the past couple of years, and only this year they managed to make that leap to £50, which is an astronomical amount of money to pay, and it's basically you're almost into Forge World territory. That's my main gripe with the Primaris Executioner tank, in that is £60 for a plastic tank. You're pretty much into Forge World tank prices there. This tank at 50, I would have much rather it be 40 or even 45. That would have been a better pill to swallow. £50, I think Games Workshop are banking on this selling at 50 with people only buying one. It's a very ornate kit, lots of detail on this one. I'm not sure whether people will buy more than one in game terms. If I was playing a lot of games, yeah, I'd definitely buy more than one. But it is a lovely kit. It's a centerpiece kit. It's the main tank for the Sisters of Battle. You know, other than this, you've got the Rhino and you've got the Immolator, and the Immolator is lovely too. But this is your main battle tank. You've got the choice of 3 heads for the sort of missile administrator or organ player, and also you've got the choice between the different missiles. You've got the larger ones, and then you've got these clusters. I'm not sure which ones I'll go for. I might actually go for the larger ones rather than the clusters, because the clusters look like, well, I don't know whether they're 3 and they launch at 3 as 3, or whether they launch all individually. I'm not quite sure, but I'd love to know the firing mechanisms for these, in terms of them, if they all fired together, whether they'd, you know, have some drag or cause discrepancies between flight paths with each of them. I'm not sure. You get this really awesome looking Hunter Killer missile, which I think I'm just going to put it on it just for the rule of cool. And of course it's got the heavy bolter. Would have been nice if it had some kind of las cannon or heavy flamer even on the front instead. Heavy flamer would be brilliant, and heavy flamers on the sides. Why doesn't this thing have sponsons? I'll never know. You know, even if it had heavy bolter sponsons or something. Yes, the side doors look beautiful, but it can't carry any sisters. So in my opinion, what's the point? Unless it's just thicker armour, which it is. You know, you've got this ablative armour, and it does have better survivability than, say, like a Rhino. But yeah, £50. You're either going to love that price or hate it. I'd much prefer it to be 40 or 45. I think 50 is the limit that Games Workshop have been able to get away with in terms of charging, but it is a beautiful model, and it's definitely one of my favourite models in the whole collection. Moving down then, you've got the Psychic Awakening Ritual of the Damned Collector's Edition, £50. I don't know why you'd pay £50 for this. It's a soft touch book. It's only 104 pages, which means it's less than the Sisters of Battle Codex. It's going to be the same layout as all of the other Psychic Awakening books. In the collector's edition, you've also got expanded background section where you get 4 short stories. I think it's a bit cheeky that they're putting 4 short stories in this collector's edition and not in the main edition. Well, that's what it reads like anyway. You know, if you want to get those 4 short stories by Andy Clark, Callum Davis and Elliot Harmer, you're going to have to, you know, pay double for the Psychic Awakening book. But anyway, this is book 4. It's £50. It's £25 for the standard edition. Let's have a look at the Mortifiers, which is the same kit as the Penitent Engines. I've only pre-ordered 1 box set because I want to make an Anchorite and I want to make a Mortifier. I've already got a Penitent Engine. I might get another couple of Penitent Engines in future, but I'd rather cover all of the other new releases. And if you want to see a review of the Penitent Engines, just type that into YouTube and my Penitent Engine review will come up. Now, in terms of these Mortifiers, these are, you know, the shooty, faster and better stat line versions of the Penitent Engines. They are way better, and for a small price increase, it's worth taking them over the Penitent Engines. Penitent Engines are all right, but these Mortifiers and Anchorites are definitely where it's at. It looks like it's going to be 3 sprues, but I might be completely wrong here. There might be duplicates in here, because for instance I can only see 1 front part of the Penitent Engine, so maybe you get 2 of these sprues, 2 of these sprues and 1 of these. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's a bit too much to expect kind of 5 sprues in this. It doesn't say, it says 126 components, but typically Games Workshop don't show duplicates of the same sprue. They only show some of the sprues, if not all of them, and the sprues that are different. They won't show every single one in terms of, you know, how many there are. But I'm a big fan of these. Can't wait to get them. Looking forward to them when they come out next weekend. The Battle Sister Squad, that was up for pre-order last weekend. Penitent Engines I've sort of covered with the Mortifiers. Dominions and Celestians, they were up for pre-order last weekend. The Retributors Squad, that was up for pre-order last weekend. Arco-flagellants though, this is a new pre-order out this week. You can make this Damien 1427 character, which isn't really a character in the codex, which kind of sucks. I wish they brought out some kind of extra data sheet or something for him that gives him some special abilities or something. This is interesting that it says product information 12 plus, not suitable for children under 36 months, small parts. So it says 12 plus, but then it says not suitable for children under 36 months. So yeah, surely they could have just put 12 plus and kept it at that. But anyway, you've got enough here to make 10 arco-flagellants, and it goes on to say there are 2 different head, left arm and right arm options for each body, including a specific combination enabling you to make the classic arco-flagellant Damien 1427. Now I had a detailed look at this, and yes, half of them are twins. If you look at the way the legs are posed, so these 2 here are exactly the same. Those 2 at the back that they're put quite close together are exactly the same, and this one and this one are, and this one and this one are. So yes, you've got 5 models essentially in this box set, just with different heads and arm options. So a bit disappointing that, you know, 10 of them don't have different kind of directions that they're traveling in, but I'm just happy that we're getting 10 arco-flagellants, and I hope that they're a success for Games Workshop, because then hopefully they will then make plastic models for Crusaders and Death Court Assassins and Preachers and Missionaries and, you know, other models in the army. So that's the arco-flagellants, and then a couple more pre-orders. You've got Judith Arusha, not Judith, they've actually named her Judith. Lovely looking model, £27.50. You can have her with like a helmet type hood on. I think I might go for that. It would detract away from her silly haircut, in my opinion. You've got the Mace of Castigation, you've got these lovely flames on the back. Games Workshop do an amazing job with the painting, don't they? The heavy metal team, they actually do look like they're on fire. It looks like it's going to be 3 sprues, which is actually quite decent for £27.50, to be fair. That, you know, I've known some models that have only had 1 sprue for £32.50. So for this to have 3, there are a few gaps on that sprue, but the others are quite awesome. And it's interesting to note that all these little shield things are separate too. And I like these statues that are holding the flames up, and this eagle, which of course is in 2 parts, and the flamers. So that's a lovely model. Of course, this is a Canoness Superior of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, so you're only going to be able to use her for the Our Martyred Lady order. I'm going to get her, even though my order isn't the Order of Martyred Lady, just because she's a fantastic looking model, and I did promise to everyone that I'd cover every single Sisters of Battle new release. Then we've got Dark Angels Master Lazarus. I've mentioned already in this video that I will be getting him, even though his Dark Angels feel like I've got a few Dark Angels models already, and the main reason I'm getting him because he does have a helmeted version, which is easier for me to get away with. I still don't know whether I'm going to have the Power Sword or Power Fist. I think I'll go for the Power Fist, even though I do already have a Primaris Captain with a Power Fist and a Plasma Pistol that looks awesome. And just type that into YouTube, you'll see one of my reviews of the Power Fisted equipped Primaris Captain. But people requested me to do a review of him, and I will do so. So he can be yours for £25. The Codex came out this weekend, but it was up for pre-order last weekend. You got the standard edition of the Psychic Awakening Ritual of the Damned book. you miss out on those 4 short stories, and it's only 88 pages, which is very, very short for a book, in my opinion, especially a book like this. Then you've got The Hospitaller, which is another pre-order today, £22.50. I'm pleased that she's that amount of money. Primaris Apothecary is also £22.50, so it's kind of what I'd expected. However, this Hospitaller, this kind of Sisters of Battle apothecary, if you will, does have a much bigger base and more scenic base in terms of having that fallen sister. You do have a different head option too. You can have her with the mask, which I might go for. I'm not quite sure. I might get 2 of them in total, and just have one over this body and one not over the body, if that's possible. I mean, the base looks like there's a place to put the feet, but I'll go through the review and just tell you if that's possible, if you can have her just on a normal base. A lovely looking model though. And then you've got the publication of The Ritual of the Damned, and then you've got a couple of other pre-orders. I think they were up for last week, but you've got Anarch by Dan Abnett and The Hollow Mountain in paperback. This is a Vaults of Terror book. And then you've got Ritual of the Damned datasheet cards, which are free if you get the Ritual of the Damned Psychic Awakening book. So as you can see, a lot of pre-orders, you know, a couple of pre-orders from Forge World and a load of pre-orders. I think 6 or 7 pre-orders from Games Workshop today. I pre-ordered everything that I possibly can, so come back to the channel next weekend and you'll see me unbox them all, and throughout the next week review them all. Out of the pre-orders today, please do put in the comments which model you're most looking forward to. I've got a funny feeling most people will say either the Hospitaller or the Exorcist. Be great to find out which models you're looking forward to. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.